how's it going, guys? I just want to do a little video on some gear that you need to have on you if you're going out in cold weather, on cold waters. It's that time of year where cabin fever is set in, and you know, people start getting on the waters, but the waters are still pretty cold, pretty dangerous. You know, a lot of them are high. Most of our rivers are at flood stage. Some of them you probably shouldn't even be on right now. But regardless of where you're at or what water you're on, there are some things that you should have on you at all times, especially in colder weather, to make sure you come home and safe. I want to start off with the single most important piece of gear that you can have on your body when you're kayaking, especially in cold weather. Now, you should always be wearing your PFD when you're in your kayak, period. But in cold weather, cold water, it's an absolute must. So there's a lot of different PFDs on the market that are specifically made for kayak fishermen. Here on the table is my Stoquist Fisherman. There are other brands like NRS, Kokatat, even Cabela's and Bass Pro that offer a good, comfortable PFD for kayak fishing. A couple of things that makes this PFD specifically for a paddler or a kayak fisherman is around the arms. You can see the shoulder straps are cut really narrow. I don't know if my lighting sucks, I'm sorry. But the shoulder straps are cut really narrow so that they don't impede on your arm movement. And then also for it's very handy for a sit on top fishing kayak is how they have the back cut. The lower part of your back is simply mesh so that the flotation pad isn't smashing between your back and the back of the seat. It's just kind of up there out of the way, and it's very comfortable. So you can sit on your kayak with this thing all day and it's not going to bother you. So now that we've got a good PFD, one that's made for a paddler, that's going to be comfortable, and you're going to be wearing it all the time, there are a few items that you're going to need to carry on you specific to cold weather that's going to help you out and make your trip a little bit safer. Firstly, I'm sure you guys have already noticed it right in the center of my life jacket. I've got my knife. This is a Mora Cans ball. It's a stainless steel knife, so it won't rust. It's cheap. It's like $30, so it's something that I keep on here. You want to have a good knife on you, preferably fixed blade, so that, and I keep it right here in the center so that if I went over and I had to cut loose an entanglement, it's very easy to deploy. Moving over here to my left pocket, I carry more survival style items. My right pocket, I carry tools that help me with my fishing. Starting in this pocket, I've got a waterproof phone case. You want to keep your phone good and waterproofed and on your person in case you need to call for help. Another blade, just a small neck knife. I'm just kind of a knife nerd, so you probably don't need two knives, but I like them. A Bic lighter. It's the most reliable, easiest way to start a fire. This one's in a, let's see, what is it? Exotac waterproof sleeve. You want to make sure everything's waterproof. Also, you want to be able to get a fire going really quick because you're going to need to warm up. I've got a couple things here that it's if you go over and you get wet, it's not time for the bow drill and all the bushcrafty ways of starting a fire. You need a fire going quick. And in this tin, it's an Altoids tin, and I've got it waterproofed in a vacuum sealed bag. Now in this tin I have cotton and Vaseline and another lighter, just redundancy there. And that cotton and Vaseline is some of the best fire starting materials you'll ever use. Me and my friends, we do a lot of kayak camping trips, and you're starting fires in damp conditions and whatnot, and that stuff just works amazing. And there's 1,000 videos or more on YouTube on how to build you a little fire kit. And another little item I got at a local outdoor store here, it's a V3 pocket bellows, and what it does is you blow on the larger end, and it stokes your fire. It concentrates the oxygen down, and it's real easy for stoking your fire and getting it going hotter quicker. On my right pocket, it's more my fishing utility items, and it makes it for a really good excuse to wear your PFD because there's a lot of good storage for the things that you need right there in front of you when you're catching fish out of your kayak. Got some hook removal tools. I forget what you really call them. Gerber multi-tool. I'll explain more about this one in just a second. Some fingernail clippers for clipping line, or just large fishing line clippers. And a whistle with the compass. Compass sucks, but it's there. And my fishing license. So that's my right pocket. So there's a few reasons why I prefer this Gerber multi-tool here over some other ones. And now there are similar ones that Leatherman makes and whatnot that are just as good. This is actually the Gerber suspension. It's the cheapest one they make. And I really like it for fishing for a few reasons. One is the small scissors that it comes with make some really good fishing line clippers. Two, I really like how they're held open by spring. It just makes it more convenient to use when you got a fish on or when you're messing around with your stuff in your boat. And three, they're the cheapest one they make. Last year or the year before, I can't remember, I left my pocket open with my Gerber in there, leaned over to get a fish, and dumped them right in the Cumberland. So this is just a little rundown on the PFD that I wear, some of the items that I like to carry with me on my person while I get out early crappie fishing, early spring, so the waters are still really cold. And it's just some items that I feel is important to have on you. I'm sure there's a lot more experienced kayak fishermen out there. It's a huge sport in the state of Kentucky and pretty much the whole country. So feel free to comment, add to whatever you think you should carry in your PFD. All comments are welcome. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Catch a lot of fish.